Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Healing Broken Families podcast, where we discuss and host conversations around divorce, parental alienation, and high conflict personalities. Today is the first of a series of very short features and highlights around special tools and healing resources that can help your family through divorce. I am your host, Barbara Lapointe, and I'm so excited to be joined today by Despwina Mavidou. She is a mediator and an author of the children's story, Mom, Dad, Can You Hear Me? Welcome.
Thank you. It is really nice to be here with you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be with you. And you're joining us today from Greece?
Yes. From Athens, Greece, yes.
Athens, Greece. Oh, I'm very jealous. All right. Well, Despina, you wrote an emotional story of a child overcoming her parents' divorce. Why did you write this book?
Well, firstly, because it's something that I always wanted to write for myself. I was thinking that I want to write down my emotions, my feelings, because when I was young, my parents took a divorce, and I was for many years in the middle of their fights. After that, this was the initial motivation. After that, because I also became a mediator, I have seen in the mediation table many times the parents that they were discussing, stating that they want to do everything for their kids. But I actually realized that it was impossible for them to really understand how a kid feels when he or she is in the middle of the parents' fight, or if they are hearing, for example, their parents arguing or accusing each other or saying bad things to each other. So I wanted to create a book to give a story from the eyes of the kids so as to help the parents realize the story from the kids' perspective and try to get in their kids' shoes. And also to help children understand that they are not alone. There are also other children that had similar stories. And it is possible to find a balance in the end.
And what do you mean by that? Find a balance.
That after the fights and after the all the confusion and the anger and the fight, it is possible again to find to recreate a new balance and a new relationship with both parents, because the kid, when especially from the age after 8 or 9 years old, when they start to understand what it means that the parents will be apart and they will not be in the same home, when they hear that we are getting a divorce, they start to feeling really confused. They don't really understand what this means for them. So at the beginning, it's a little bit difficult. It's a new reality. One of the parents will not be at home. When they will see him, what will happen? So all these are questions that I have in the book because they are questions that I had when I was at that age. And but I wanted to show that, okay, yes, now it's a confusing time, it's a difficult time because the parents are getting the divorce, but in the end and after a few months, it will be possible to recreate a new balance and it can be peaceful again.
Yeah, that's really a hopeful message for children and parents to get that balance that you're describing and to return to peace. It's a hopeful message and it's a hopeful book. I thought it was really compelling that you wrote the book because you went through divorce as a child. You lived through that, and now you're honoring the child's perspective.
Yes, because I understand that the child it feels very confused and feels very trapped in the middle many times, and sometimes maybe they feel that they need to take sides to choose sides. So these are all things that actually nobody says in front of the mediation table or in the court. So I wanted to give their perspective.
Hmm. which is so neat because there's so many perspectives in divorce that are wanting to be heard. And oftentimes, parents, mediators, all of the people that are lawyers that are involved in court, oftentimes we will hear the saying, "It's in the we're thinking of the children," or "This is in the best interest of the child." But are we really, really touching base with how that child's feeling and what is their perspective? And and just to check in on ourselves because there's so much going on in the tornado of divorce. And sometimes that child or the children, they get lost. And that's why yeah, and that's why I also really your title of your book really resonated with me. Mom, Dad, can you hear me? We always want to say that we are honoring the voice of the child and the best interest of the child, but sometimes we can see in life the way it plays out that we have not done that. And that's why I thought personally your book is a really valuable tool for families to check in.
Thank you. I hope that it can be a viable tool because actually it's what you said. I mean, most of the time the parents are not in the position to hear the kid. I mean, eh, divorce is a very stressful period and the emotions are really high and intense, and they cannot control them. So it's really difficult to get in the kids' shoes because for the kids, they these two people that they are fighting, they are still his or her parents. So they cannot hate them. They want them both together, want to spend time with both of them, and need them both in their lives. So for the kid, it's a completely different perspective, and the parents cannot really understand that because they have in front of them, for example, a wife or a husband, and they are angry with this person and they want to get rid of this person, but the child needs both of them and he or she does not want to get rid of any of them.
Such a good point. Such a really truly loving point. Exactly. I love the way you said that. This might be a really perfect time just to clarify for anyone listening. Is this book for parents or is it for children to read?
Well, it's for both because actually, for the child, I wanted to write a story to help the children. As I said at the beginning, that they are not feeling alone, and that there are also other children that had the same experience, and that the divorce is not the end of the world. And actually, I had many children that read the book and they told me that they like a lot the fact that the protagonist of the story found a solution to her problem. And actually, she found a way to help her parents listen to her and pay attention to her and do what she needed in the end. On the other hand, I think that the book can help the parents understand how the kids feel, what they really need when they are going through the divorce, and it tries to evidence how important co-parenting is because actually Irene, the protagonist of the story, at the end of the book, give a list of things that she asked from her parents, which are really simple things, like I don't want you to say bad things to each other, I don't care who spends more money, I want to spend time with both of you, I want you to have the same rules in both houses, which are actually things that all the kids need, and usually we don't put them in a co-parenting agreement or a custody agreement. And actually, these are all things that I wanted to say to my parents when I was young, and I never had the courage to do it
Mm.
because my story was not exactly as happy as is in the book.
Marketing.
Yeah, I wanted to give a more positive perspective.
I love it. And it's just those simple, simple things that a child needs that you just outlined, that sometimes those simple, loving truths that get somehow lost in the emotional quagmire. Like I don't care how much each of you spend. I want to spend time with both of you. What other one did you mention?
Well, that I don't need, I want you to have the same rules in both houses.
Mhm.
I'm open to meet new people in your life, and I will love them if I like them. Because, sometimes when a third party comes in, the parents have different feelings, but the kids, they don't have a problem to have a big family if the parents support this, if both parents can support this. It all depends how the parent will handle the situation. And this will help the kid also to leave the divorce in a peaceful manner or in a difficult manner.
Beautiful. It's really so simple. Sometimes the most important loving truths are actually simple, and at the
And
same time
difficult at the same time.
difficult at the same time. One thing that came up for me when you were saying that is often I think, and anyone listening, please let me know if you don't agree. Sometimes when we have people outsiders telling us what to do, we can get our back up a bit, especially when you'd be like more resistance might show up um, when we're making co-parenting plans or anything, and we can get have resistance show up. And that's why I also thought your book was just a really nice neutral way to come back to these loving truths of what a child might really want and really benefit from in a divorce.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
yeah.
This was actually what I wanted to do, to show it from a neutral part, which is the kid, and leave the parents to understand. And I think that they can understand if they are open and willing to listen. They can understand a lot of things, and they can find also some similarities, especially in cases with high conflict divorces. Of course, there are also cases where it's not possible, the co-parenting. I mean, I'm not talking, of course, about violence or abuse or this kind of cases, which it's completely different case. But in cases where there's just intense conflict and high emotions and feelings, strong feelings, they can find similarities, and they can actually see that maybe certain things can change. If they through the story, they will find that certain things are similar, and maybe certain behavior, they can change certain behaviors because they will understand how the kids feel.
Hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful. Just to understand how children feel. And you've really got a great, you're coming from a great place as a family mediator and as a child of divorce. You're in an ideal place to share a lot of different
Yes.
perspectives. All right. So you've got the book with you. I'd love to see it.
Yes, this is the book.
Beautiful. Mom, Dad, can you hear me? An emotional story of a child overcoming her parents' divorce. Is there an age range this book is suited for?
It's from 8 to 13, I
Okay.
think, or 12, 13 years old, because after it's for young children, not children that are more than that, they have more than 13 years old. And it's available in Amazon in ebook and paperback, and in all Amazon stores. And I have also uploaded a diary, which you can find it under the title "My Diary" from Despina Mavridou, which is something where the kids can express themselves. Because the diary, it was something that helped me when I was young. I used it also in the book, where, because as you have seen, Irene uses her diary to write down her thoughts. So I have also created a diary for the kids to express themselves and write down their thoughts. Both the book and the diary, they are in Amazon.
The diary is an excellent idea to work through some of those emotions
Mm.
and help children heal from them. The diary, I could imagine, would help children with anxiety and not repressing their emotions. What a great companion to the book.
Yes, exactly. And they can write down thoughts that they don't want to share with their parents.
And they could draw.
Yes,
They could write poems in it.
yes, they can write whatever they want.
I love it. So the book is available on Amazon. The diary is also available as a companion
Yes.
on Amazon. I'm
Mm.
featuring the book on my website, bookstore, www.barbaralapointe.com. And if anyone in the audience wanted to reach out and connect with you, what's the very best way to reach you?
Through Facebook. My page is author Despina Mavridou. It's my name and surname with the word author in front.
Great. And I was super excited that you've were kind enough to give one book away to someone watching today. So we will, excuse me, make up a podcast, competition on social media, and whoever enters that social media competition will have Despoina mail a book direct to them. So that's really nice, and we appreciate that so much. This is
A
a
pleasure.
fantastic tool for families, for parents, for young youth to grab onto in the storm of divorce. I really love this book, and I'm so grateful that you could join us today all the way from Greece to share with us this passion project that you've put out into the world.
It was a great pleasure for me too, and I really hope that the book can be a useful tool for the families.
I do too. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes and how it expands out and flows out into Canada and the United States. So I encourage everyone to order this book and the Diary Companion on Amazon. Absolutely. So this is just a short little mini podcast, one of the many features that we're going to have in 2022, where we highlight authors, healing resources, and empowering tools for families going through divorce. You were our first feature, and we thank you again for that. Again, if you'd like to reach me at any time, feel free to collaborate, connect, and reach out to me at barbara@barbaralapointe.com. As always, thank you for taking the time to be with us on the Healing Broken Families podcast, where we discuss and help you find solutions to divorce, parental alienation, and high conflict relationships. Wishing all of you a lot of abundance and blessings today. And until next time, be well.
I thank you.